Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's June 3rd, 2017. One of the top news stories today, Bill Maher apologizing for using a racial slur last evening, Friday, June 2nd, on his television show Real Time. And what I want to show you is just how planned this news story is. It's not an accident that Bill Maher used the word last night as he's saying that it just slipped out. This is all planned. They want this racially divisive story in the news today, June 3rd, and the senator who was with him, he's no accident either. This man was there on purpose. This is a ritual. And what you need to understand from what I'm about to show you is these people that we see before us on the TV, from funny men like Bill Maher to political puppets like Mr. Sassy, the politician who was in attendance for this remark, these people are nothing but puppets on strings, just following the motions that are given to them from their Zionist Jewish bosses. You know, Bill Maher, Jewish and Catholic. These are the two entities that really run this world, that control television, the information that gets to the minds of the masses. And today's information is intentional. This is operating by a code known as Kabbalah, which we'll touch more on. So today's June 3rd. The way we write this date in the U.S. is 6/3, kind of like the number 63. The word racism equals 63. We were just talking about this number in regards to the story about LeBron James in L.A., where Bill Maher is. Just having this big media story about people spray painting the N-word all over his house. Also, racism has gematria 45, like the name Maher, as in Bill Maher, and the congressman is 45 years old. And in a little bit, we're going to talk about why it's so interesting. It was his 102nd day of being 45 years old in light of the remark Bill Maher made. Racism also has gematria of 27, like the name Maher. So Maher's name has two ties to the word. The date of this incident, June 2nd, 2017, also a date with 45 numerology. Again, connecting to the name Maher, the word racism, and the age of the congressman in attendance for the remark. The word race also has gematria of 27, like racism. The point of this is to put the information in front of people, because this is the way we work as human beings. When things are shown in front of us, even if we're told they're good or bad, it doesn't really matter. When they're put in front of us, they're more likely to become part of our own life, part of our own behavior. And the powers that shouldn't be, who control the TV, know this. This is why they have these rituals of getting certain topics in front of people on certain days of the calendar year. And if you learn this code, you see how they do the exact same thing every single year. The name William Maher, Bill Maher's full name, has gematria of 74 and 61, which are numbers that have everything in the world to do with Christianity. And I just think about how Bill Maher is used as one of the main people in the media. You know, he kind of tries to pretend like he's against religion, but he's not. He's very Jewish, and he always cries for the Jews and brings up the Holocaust. Even in his show Religulous, you know, he's making fun of religion, and then in that own show he has on a Jewish man who's saying that Israel should not exist, it's an abomination, and Bill Maher even has a little fit in his own movie, Religulous. You know, someone speaking the truth who's actually Jewish about Israel, and Bill Maher just breaks down having a fit. This is all proof that Bill Maher is nothing more than a stooge who helps maintain the cultural narrative. That you can't speak against the false Jews, which he's one of. You know, Bill Maher is just such a Jewish stereotype. He makes fun of everybody. He runs his mouth big. He says really critical things about all sorts of people, but then he cries literally like a little bitch, to use his own words. He says that about people all the time. He says Donald Trump's a little bitch, which he is. Donald Trump is a little bitch. But so is Bill Maher. These are two little bitches. And I can say that because I'm not a bitch. Most people are. But anyway, Bill Maher, interesting numbers coded onto him. He's a newsman. The word news sums to 61. Again, very religious numbers. So depending on what source you read, and I should have just watched this myself, but I haven't watched it yet. Too much going on. I'm trying to write the book. You know, they got the London false flag today. Anyway, some sources say Bill Maher called himself a house nigger, and other sources say he referred to himself as a house nigger. And there's a difference between those two words, you know? But anyway, we're going to cover both, because I'm not sure which one he said, but either way, they're both relevant. And in the media, they're saying he said both. Real time has gematria of 38, like the word nigga, like Jew, like Kabbalah. The word rapper is 38, a word made very popular through rap music, hip-hop music. Kabbalah is what this is all about. Kabbalah has one of its core beliefs that God created the world with language when God merged the letter with the number. And Kabbalah comes from the Torah. The Torah has 187 chapters in it. We're going to talk about why 187 is so special real quick. Just last week, Killer Mike, who's one of these media goons that I can't... So many people think Killer Mike's this guy speaking out and saying important things. Killer Mike is nothing more than someone meant to keep you in the box. Talking about how great Bernie Sanders is. Bernie Sanders is nothing more than a stage puppet. That's all he is. You know, all of these people keep you thinking in the box and not seeing the game that's really going on. The only answer to what we're living under is revolution. This government needs to be 86th, adios, never again, and then we can start over from there. Because until then, it's going to be perpetual tyranny. But anyway, here's Killer Mike. They have him wearing this shirt that I guarantee they put on him, dressed him up like a little puppet. Kill your masters, his shirt says, which sums to 187, the homicide code in California where this show's at. A lot of people have died by the number 187. It's a special number, very relevant to Kabbalah, which is what we're getting to. A few other things coded in that shirt that are interesting. But anyhow, Bill Maher's show is broadcast out of Television City. That's where he records from in L.A. Television City. Now understand Kabbalah, about coding numbers into words, Jewish mysticism, a way of living. Everything that you see through television is done this way. It's all based on what's in the Torah, the Jewish holy book that begins the Bible. There's 187 chapters in the Torah. And again, Kabbalah, Torah, hand in hand. In Washington, D.C. is the headquarters for the federal government and the ancient accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, a building that has 33 pillars outside, the word federal 33, the word masonry 33, the word secrecy 33. This is secret information. Kabbalah was only for rich elites in the past, which is pretty much still, you know, who knows about this stuff, and people within the Jewish church. But the people at the top who run this world, the New World Order, this is how they operate. Ancient Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry 187, Society of Jesus 187, Washington, D.C. 187, George Washington 187, Paris, France, the man who built D.C. from Paris, France 187, Adolf Hitler 187, Mein Kampf was published July 18th, 18/7, Donald Trump began his GOP convention on 18/7, 187 days before Inauguration Day. About 2 weeks before this election, Bill Maher indicated that Trump would probably win the election. Now Bill Maher's saying that Trump won't make it past this year. Understand, Bill Maher's not just anybody in the news. He's part of this higher-up network. He has information that most people don't. He knows things before they happen because it's all planned and scripted. The world is a theater run by the Zionists. Remember this. In Gematria, theater equals Judaism equals Zionist. And if you've ever watched a movie from Hollywood, that should make perfect sense to you because all you see on the screen are a bunch of Jewish names. You know, it's amazing to me that people don't catch on. But for a little more, Bill Maher, his show's called Real Time with Bill Maher, which sums to 223, like the Synagogue of Satan, like Masonic. Numbers coded again and again into all of these rituals. The man he had on, Michael Render, who was in the Killer Mike, who had that shirt on with the 187 coding for Television City. Michael Render, look at his name. 74, like rapper, like Masonic, like Jewish, like killing, like stabbing. This guy's not going to live much longer. We're going to read about him dying. It'll be from cardiovascular disease will be reported. Everyone will say, well, that makes sense. He was overweight. No, it's just going to be another guy that gets offed by the numbers, and no one will think twice about it, just like they never do. Just wait long enough. There'll be a video up on my channel about his death. We'll go back and look at this. We'll have all forgotten by then because we'll have been buried in so much more bullshit by this fake media, this planned agenda. But yeah, this guy's all kinds of screwed. He has 118 birth numerology. I think sometimes they just elevate these people just so they can knock them off, But anyhow, coming back to today's news. Bill Maher either called himself a house nigga or a house nigger. One of the two. We're going to cover both. 38, the special number. Remember, Tupac Shakur, Notorious B.I.G., both dead on dates with 38 numerology. The word death, 38, killing, 38, murder, 38. Tupac's final hip-hop name, Machiavelli, 38. So many other deaths. These same numbers. Gematria, the killing name, a song by Slipknot. So here's the reporting. Comedian Bill Maher apologized Saturday, that's today, June 3rd, for using a racial slur during an interview the night before with Republican Senator Ben Sasse of Nebraska on his HBO show. Friday nights are always my worst night of sleep because I'm up reflecting on the things I should or shouldn't have said on my live show, Maher said in a statement. Last night was a particularly long night as I regret the word I used in the banter of a live moment. The word was offensive and I regret saying it and am very sorry. Guarantee you Bill Maher was instructed to say this, knowing this whole thing's planned out, that the next day he'll be making these remarks. This is how these people operate. They just put things in front of people's faces to have the story. So here we can continue to read. Sasse was promoting his book, The Vanishing American Adult, on Real Time with Bill Maher. The two were discussing teenagers and maturity when Maher mentioned that adults dress up for Halloween in California. I mean, just look at this day and age that we're living at. I feel like such an old man. I've felt like such an old man since I was a teenager in this country because just everything that's given to us by this media, it's so childish and immature and petty and materialistic and perverted. And, it just makes me feel like I'm some old grandpa. Really, I'm just a decent person, with eyes to see. Most people just go along. They just eat up this culture that's spoon-fed to them. But there's a reason we're a nation of babies. Bill Maher, little pathetic man himself. It's frowned upon. We don't do that quite as much. They're talking about wearing costumes. If you've ever seen my work on Gematria and Halloween, check it out. I've got to get to Nebraska more, Bill Maher said. And apparently Bill Maher is indicating he doesn't like wearing costumes. But here's the remark he made. You're welcome. We'd love to have you work in the fields with us, the senator added, in regards to Bill Maher coming out to Nebraska. Work in the fields, Senator. I'm a house. Now, depending on what source you read, some will say he said nigga, but here they made it seem like they end it with an R, Some audience members groaned while others laughed. Sass briefly kept quiet. No, it's a joke, Maher said, breaking the silence. Tweets soon poured in condemning Maher's remarks. Tweets. Again, Bill Maher's a comedian. He's on cable television. You have to pay for HBO. This doesn't even need to be a story. How many people watch HBO? And plus, who holds comedians accountable? Comedians are supposed to make controversial remarks. You know what I mean? It's just, the point I'm trying to make is all of this is manufactured. It's put in front of your face for a reason. That phrase, house nigger, has gematria of 74, like Bill Maher's full name, like white supremacist, like cross. We've been talking about, was Jesus really a black man? Was he hung in a tree? 74 mentions in the New Testament of the stake and the crucifix. Jesus 74, Jesus Christ 74, Messiah 74, Gospel 74, Cross 74. Think about how white supremacists burn the cross. It goes both ways too. Black Panther Party 74. The rituals go the same way. It's all meant to stir up racism and divide the people of this world amongst race. That's why they put this media out, because they know it will pick people apart. See my work on March 22nd about the white supremacist in New York City or he traveled, what was it? He traveled from Baltimore to New York to kill black homeless people. I forget what his name was, but his name was 223, like white supremacist. Don't forget Real Time with Bill Maher, 223. And pretty much what they're saying is, a white man shouldn't be making this hateful remark or using it even in a joke. Just as a reminder, racial slur sums to 42, like the word nigger. When you write out 42, it sums to 74. N-word 74. Remember, 42 generations to Jesus, who, if you read the Bible, seems he was of darker skin. 42 generations to Jesus, Jesus 74. This numerical code goes way back. But now here's the best part. Ben Sasse, the 45-year-old in attendance when he made the remark, people are criticizing Ben Sasse because he didn't say anything to hold Bill Maher accountable. He just let the remark pass. But really, you can't make these kind of judgments. It's live TV. He's there with a comedian. They're both adults. That's just what I hate about our society. Everyone just wants to... And it's like that. The media encourages this kind of behavior, like, casting judgment, making assumptions. Always got people's minds worked up over nothing. But anyway, this ridiculous name, Ben Sasse, right up there with John Boner. I know that he says his name's John Boehner, but everyone knows how that name's spelled. John Boner. Resigned right after he met with the Pope. Just like Bernie Sanders. Just like Jeb Bush. Soon to be Donald Trump. Just like Bill O'Reilly, who was fired the same day he met with the Pope. Now that I say that, it's funny to think that the word Jesuit's 84. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope. Of course, Donald Trump, Bill O'Reilly, John Boehner, they're all Jesuits. Ben Sasse, probably a Jesuit too. Bill Maher, Catholic and Jewish. The Jesuits, The nation's capital where the Catholic colony once was. So anyway, Ben Sasse, 84. United States of America, 84. States, 84. Colony, 84. Lord Bacon, 84. The colonization scheme of Francis Bacon. Masonry, 84. Secrecy, 84. King James dead 84 days before his birthday. Dead at 58. Like Freemasonry, like secret society, like Solomon's Temple, like Jerusalem. I just like to remind people, if you think we're living in the Twilight Zone, we sort of are. The Twilight Zone was written by Rod Serling. The pilot episode came out in 58. United States 58. The Twilight Zone 84. Just like Serling, like United States of America. First episode about putting a man on the moon. But here it is. Ben Sasse with the 84 gematria from his birthday, his 45th, to the date of this incident, the date of this news, this big news story about how he should have spoke up and everything. Look at this, 102 days later. The Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. Slavery 102, just like the word nigger, which they're saying Bill Maher shouldn't have said. You see? And interesting, Bill Maher and this man's birthdays 33 days apart. And this headline meant to stir up a race war. So they'll say, oh, Bill Maher's not racist. He has Cornel West on. He has... Neil deGrasse Tyson on. He has Killer Mike on. But you know what? Ultimately, he is a racist scumbag because he fronts for this Zionist mafia that is the most racist, hateful thing there is in existence, and which really does take out the majority of their hatred on black people. So Bill Maher, if you're out there, if you're watching, my book's coming out soon. I guarantee you put me on your show, instead of people like that controversial fag, conservative right clown that supposedly got the thing canceled at Berkeley. You put me on your show, it's going to be the best ratings you ever had. Plus, you're getting to be an old man. Time to step down anyway. We'll do Real Time with Zachary K. Hubbard every Friday on HBO. Can you imagine it? The Zionist Jews handing their show over to me. It'd be a lot better, that's for sure. Wouldn't it be some hypocritical little punk bitch like what Bill Maher is? All right, truth seeker. Until next time.